Were you told you were shy? Do you identify as shy? Do you hate that word now? Do you just wish you could get over it and get on with your life? Welcome to Shining Beyond Shy, empowering you to create a greater life than you ever thought was possible. With your Shining Beyond Shy host, Fiona Cups. Hi everybody, Fiona Cups here, and welcome to this episode of Shining Beyond Shy. I'm your host, and this week's call is called Beyond Avoiding and Defending. So I feel I have to say this at the beginning. So I have just had full-on dental surgery. I talk about it quite a bit in the last episode I did, which I called Beyond Vulnerability. And it's interesting because we've had these topics before. So I have one of my early shows called Vulnerability, and having intense dental surgery and showing up on video and with a voice like this is definitely beyond vulnerability. And then just a few episodes ago, we had an episode called Avoiding and Defending. And these are some of the latest tools in access consciousness, and they're absolutely brilliant. And this one I'm calling Beyond Avoiding and Defending. And that's my attempt to say, hey, this is really full on. This is like really something I was grossly avoiding and defending. So the tool, and so many of the people I know are saying that these processes around avoiding and defending are changing so much for them. So if you haven't listened to it already, I do suggest that you go back and listen to the episode that I've already done on avoiding and defending. And it's not like you have to have listened to it for this one to make sense. I have no doubt that I'll talk about it in a slightly different way. But it's such an amazing topic and something that can bring so much change for all of us that I just think, why not listen to it or re-listen to it? Because there's so much in it. So here we go. My story about avoiding and defending with this dental process. So I have always had problems with my teeth. I remember being a young girl and having crooked teeth, and to be honest, I didn't really mind much about the crooked teeth. I mean, they weren't really extreme at that point, but I was kind of forced to have a brace. And then I just had all kinds of crazy treatments in an attempt to make my teeth okay. And my sense is now that some of that treatment actually weakened my teeth, and my body is saying, yes, that's what's occurred. And I also had, my dad had periodontal disease, and he had dentures in his 40s. And so what's really interesting is that also I had all this stuff with my teeth, the crooked teeth, the braces, the unkind dentist, the continual treatment, and people saying to me, you know, I remember even in my 20s, some of these dentists were like, oh, what are you doing? It's like your gum disease is really bad for someone your age. What are you eating? What are you doing? Are you being naughty? And I mean, I don't know if they put it quite like that, but that was my judgment of me, that I was being naughty. It's like I did used to eat a lot of chocolate, a lot of sweet stuff, a lot of wheaty stuff, a lot of stuff that kind of, I mean, nowadays, in terms of access consciousness, I see that this reality was very difficult for me. And so I chose to kind of be numb to it by eating all this stuff. But I get what actually occurred was that the judgment that I had for the overeating actually got to a certain extent stuck in my teeth, mouth, and gums, and created problems that it didn't in other parts of my body. So my body stayed slim. I didn't put on a lot of weight through this overeating. But anyway, back to my story. So I had all this stuff in my world around my teeth. And I mean, even I went to the dentist, I'm going to say between 5 and 10 years ago, and it's hard to know the timeline. And the dentist literally said to me, look, you need to start coming regularly, and we think we can save all your teeth except these ones. And it's like, even then it didn't go in that I really had a problem. It was like, and this is what I'm saying, I was avoiding it to such a degree that even so dentists were straight up telling me, hey, you're going to have this problem of your teeth falling out if you don't do something about it. It just passed me by. And I mean, until the last few years, I've never noticed people's teeth. I never really noticed my own teeth. It's like I just didn't. And that was the extent of my avoiding. And then 3 years ago, or nearly 3 years ago, I went to see a dental tourism dentist in Budapest. And these guys were really horrible. They just they were really forceful in the way that they touched my teeth. They were really forceful in the way they communicated. And they basically said to me, this is your last chance. We've come up with this super duper treatment, which we're patting ourselves on the back for and that you can have. And it involves this, that, and the other, which at the time was really full on for me, basically taking out a load of teeth and then doing some clever stuff. And at the time, I wasn't ready to hear that I needed to have my teeth out. I didn't believe it. But beyond that, so a lot of you will know this, but I'll give you this tool if you don't know it. There's a tool, one of the first tools we have in Access Consciousness. What's true for you makes you feel happy, makes you feel lighter. What's alive for you makes you shut down, makes you feel contracted. So when they said all this stuff, it actually made me feel really contracted and unhappy. And I think that's partly because I wouldn't want those particular guys to be anywhere near my mouth, partly for that reason, whatever they were doing. It's like just looking at my teeth and prodding them a bit was more than enough. But I think also, and I'm just saying this out loud for the first time, but my sense with what I know now, and my body is saying yes, is that that treatment wouldn't actually have worked. It wouldn't have given me the long-term stability that what I'm having done now will give me. That's my sense of it. And it's kind of an intuition, but it's also based on some facts now, because like it or not, I've had to learn a whole load of what's possible with teeth and what you can do if you're losing your own teeth and blah, blah, blah. I've had to learn a lot about that, much so I didn't want to. And here's the space I was in nearly 3 years ago when I was in Budapest. I was in this space of, I will heal it. I'm a healer. I'm an access consciousness facilitator, and I will heal this the natural way. I will heal this the natural way, and I will send them photos of my perfect smile, and I will lead people along the path, the brightened, proper path of healing so that they go bankrupt. It's that kind of energy. So let's just do this. Everything that brings up anywhere you are being and doing that kind of energy, will you destroy and uncreate it? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all 9 shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. Yes, so that was my point of view. And funnily enough, I was in Budapest to do a class called Happy Mouth. And some of you will have heard of this. So it's the creation of somebody who used to be an access consciousness facilitator. So it has elements of access consciousness, but this amazing Dr. Tom, he's called, or Dr. Dentist Tom, he has taken what he learned through access consciousness and made it something different and greater for teeth. So there I was in this class, and I was so ashamed of what I'd been told by this horrible dentist that I couldn't even ask a question. So it's like I had the chance to find out what Dr. Tom thought was going on energetically. I didn't even ask. I was too scared. I mean, I got a load of other stuff out of that class. And then what occurred was that 6 months later, it was COVID. And during COVID time, I tried all these alternative remedies, including the Dr. Tom stuff, including access consciousness, including all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I don't have a reason for why that didn't work. I do believe that it's possible to change everything. And maybe I didn't believe it could work. Who knows? I mean, there are loads of people who've had massive change with the work that Dr. Tom does. And I don't have an explanation for that. But in terms of this episode and avoiding and defending, is like what was going on was that COVID gave me the perfect excuse for hiding me away and hiding my teeth away. And I was kind of doing these processes and trying these alternative remedies whilst avoiding to become aware of the fact that they weren't actually working. I didn't want to see that they weren't working. And you know what? I asked my body and my teeth and gums time and time again, is like, can we heal this? And again, I thought I was getting the response, yes. My senses now and my body saying yes, but my mind was so strong. We have to heal this. We have to heal this. We must heal this. You're a healer. You have to heal this. You have to heal this. That I made my body give me that response. It's like I overrode the response in my body to give me what I wanted. And so what I wanted was to be able to heal this, to be able to say to people, hey, here's the right and true healing way. I am an excellent access consciousness facilitator. Now you really need to come to my classes because I'm so fucking conscious that I can change everything, including these teeth that you're not supposed to be able to change. So let's just do this. Let's all the energy that brings up anywhere you may be being and doing something similar. Choice, will you destroy and uncreate that? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. And you notice with that, there's no question. There's no question of, hey, what would be kind to me here? And a few weeks ago, I mean, I've had loads of facilitation around this from people I trust. It's like up until a few weeks ago, I wasn't willing to talk to most people about this. It's like it needed to be people who I really, really trusted. And I really thank all of you. I mean, maybe we're 10 people who I talked to this about. And which is kind of funny that I'm talking about it very publicly now. And that's right. At a certain point, well, with the avoiding and defending, I began to ask, what am I avoiding and defending with my teeth, mouth, and gums? And then I received facilitation from an amazing person. And it's like, you know how it's almost like years of avoiding and defending that the natural treatments weren't working. It's like it all evaporated in a moment. And literally, I had the facilitation and I was writing emails to 10 dentists in, I was literally following the energy. I chose to not go to Zagreb. I came down to the coast, Sadar, and I chose to just write to about 10 dentists immediately. And the next morning, one of them rang me back and I had an appointment within a couple of days. Once I was willing to be present with what was really going on. And that's what this process will do. It's like if you're avoiding and defending, so in my case, I'll give you an example of how this works. In my case, I was avoiding that I needed to have this, well, very conventional treatment for my teeth. I was avoiding that the natural remedies and the access stuff and the Dr. Tom stuff wasn't working for me. I was dynamically avoiding that. Even when facilitators, and I mean, and not just personal facilitation, I started to be able to ask about this in class. I asked about it in class twice. And the first thing that both facilitators went to was conventional dental treatment. So probably they were aware of what I was required, of what I actually required, in a way that at the time I wasn't willing to be able, not very grammatical, I wasn't able to see at that point, and this is both cases about a year ago, I wasn't able to hear or receive that I needed to have conventional medical treatment. And I also thought that I couldn't. I don't know if I said that. These Budapest dentists basically said to me, you can't have implants, you're too far gone with your gum disease and your everything problems. You're too far gone to have that. So it's like I thought that I would be going to the dentist to be told that there were no options, basically. And I got myself to the point where I was ready to hear that. It was better for me to hear that than not hear that. So again, all the energy that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyonds. So yeah, I was dynamically avoiding that the natural remedies weren't working. I was dynamically avoiding that I needed something different, that I needed this horrendous conventional medicine. And I remember when my dad had heart bypass operation, I was actually really grateful to conventional medicine that they were able to keep him alive for many years of quality life, actually. And I was really grateful for that. But it was almost like it was at run remover. That's my dad. I mean, it's fine for him and other people to have this conventional medicine when they really need it, but not really. Oh, no, not for me. It's like, you know, really for me, I'm the access consciousness facilitator. I'm the healer, and I'll heal it in my body. So again, everything that brings up, anywhere you're in that space, anywhere you're avoiding any of this stuff, truthfully destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and poc, all 9 shorts, boys, POVADs, and beyond. So, yeah, so that's the avoiding, but I was also dynamically defending. I was defending that I was the perfect access consciousness facilitator, that this couldn't really be happening in my body, that no, this really wasn't going on, and I would heal it. I would heal it through the force of my will, almost. It's like, and yeah, it's that it feels like there's a kind of, it's a funny way to put it this, but I'll just put it like this. It feels like there's a surrendering to what's actually true. And sometimes I've heard Dane here talk about a surrendering to consciousness. And of course, other modalities, or I mean, I guess Christians and Muslims and other religions talk about surrendering to God. And it's not that space of letting go of my free will. It's just like, oh, actually, this isn't really what I wanted. And believe me, and no doubt I will talk about the day treatment that I've had. It's like having your teeth out is not a walk in the park. It's like it's a really intense, horrible day, and there's more to come. So it's like it's surrendering to the thing that will create the greatest good, the thing that will create the most consciousness. And I can't say why this is my path that's leading me to more consciousness. It's not the same for everybody. And it's so funny because several people who I've said this to have been like, oh my God. So everyone seems to have some kind of tooth stuff going on. I mean, for most people, obviously not this severe, but it's like it's brought up stuff for some of my friends that, oh my God, I didn't want to go, oh my God. And it's like daring to be present with what's going on. There's a freedom that comes with that. There's more. It's like, honestly, since I chose this surgery, and particularly since I've had the surgery, I have been so happy. It makes me laugh. Even though I look funny when I'm laughing, it makes me laugh. And no, I mean, I probably look funny all the time. I don't really care. Isn't that funny that I don't really care? So now I've distracted myself from what I was saying. What was I saying? It will come back when it needs to. Oh, I'm sorry. And I never edit these. So what would it take for this to come back? What I was about to say. I can't remember, so I will find it and talk about it again in the future, so I apologize for that. How does it get better than that? Not only am I showing up with a crazy voice and a crazy face, but I'm forgetting what I was going to say next. So how does it get better than this? Yeah, so this, yeah, there's a relief that comes into my world. And yes, as I said, I've been super happy, super joyful since choosing and since having this surgery. And the dentist said to me, the surgeon said to me, and I think she said it this way because their English isn't that great. I mean, it's good, but I mean, it's not fluent. And she just said, your teeth are not for the future. I was like, wow, yes, choosing these new teeth is a choice for the future. It's a choice for living. It's like I was hiding away. It's like I'm way more willing to be, it's funny, isn't it? Way more willing to be seen like this than I was to be seen with my crooked teeth that were kind of getting worse. It's like I wasn't willing, I was forcing myself to sort of appear on videos and do all of this stuff. But I'm way more willing to be seen now, and I don't have an explanation for that, except I'm a bit crazy. That's my best explanation. No, but my serious explanation is that There's a freedom in choosing for me. There's a freedom in choosing for me and being like, you know what, I'm just going to put myself out here like this, no matter what anyone thinks. And I'm sure that there'll be people who are like, good on you, Fiona, putting yourself out there when you look like this and sound like this. Good for you having this treatment. I'm glad it's not me, but good for you. And I'm pretty sure that there'll be some people who judge me for having metal in my mouth, judge me for not being able to heal it, judge me for showing up when I look like this and sound like this. So thank you very much. I received your judgment. How does it get better than this? So I think I have talked enough about this process of avoiding and defending. And so you can use it yourself with whatever's going on for you. So if you have something with your body, you have something with your relationship, with your money flows, with your business, what am I avoiding here? Everything that brings up, destroy and uncreate it. What am I defending here? Everything that brings up, destroy and uncreate it. And then the clearing statement, right and wrong, good and bad, hot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, POVADs and beyond. And it comes with a warning. Who knows what it's going to unlock in your world? It's so dynamic. And as I said, a lot of my friends have also had massive change through running this process. So run it at your own risk. You may not have something as dramatic as is going on for me. Who knows, you might. You can outcreate me with something really full on and let me know. So if you have enjoyed this podcast, if you've got something great out of it, I invite you to share it. Yep, I'm willing to be seen by even more people in this crazy space. I invite you to share it. I invite you to comment. I invite you to like it. Let's get this seen by way, 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 way more shy people. And I haven't mentioned shyness in this episode, but I'm sure I scarcely need to say it, that if it's hard for a shy person to show up at all, to show up when you're like this is kind of pretty out there. So I suppose let me end with this. If you are shy and you're watching this and you're like, even being on video at all seems full on, please know that it wasn't like this for me. It was not like this for me at all, that I would be able to show up on video at all, or when I'm in a space like this. So really, what if this can be an invitation to you to know you can change this? And I had a really nice Facebook Messenger chat with a lady today who was asking me about shining beyond shy. And she's like, I've had this in my world for 3 years now. And, you know, if we have shyness, of course, it's hard to write to somebody and say, hey, I'm shy. I'd like to come on your thing. I'd like to change this. And she felt such a relief, because it was like everything that she was saying. Oh, and I was like, yeah, I hear you. It was like it was full on for me before I did my first shyness work or right voice for you work. It was very, 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 very full on. And so I get it. So if you're shy and you're hesitating about taking that first step, please know that if you come on any of my classes and programs, I'm here for you. I'll look after you, and I know what it's like. And please, what if this episode, in these episodes where I'm like this, what if this could be an invitation to you knowing that however shy you are, it's really, really, really possible to change this. Boom. So I will see you again next week. Thank you for listening and have a great week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I'm so grateful for you. It would be great if you could subscribe. Great if you could leave a review wherever you're listening. And if you'd like some quick, simple tips to overcome shyness wherever you are, please go to my website, fionacuts.com, where you can download my free product, 5 Steps to Overcoming Shyness Wherever You Are. Thank you again, and see you next time.